Hello, everybody. This is our check-in for this week. We just started doing curves. I'm going to just let everyone in and then I will come back to the recording. Hang in there. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Christina,
Hello.
Karen,
Hello there.
Christine. Good to see you all. We are just doing a quick check-in for week 5 of the Bloom Along. We've started doing our quarter curves, which is exciting. Good to get into the curves. And I've got exactly 30 minutes that I'm available for support right now. But then also we've got that retreat on Saturday. So if you've got other questions about curves, you can always bring them on Saturday or just ask them in the squad because I'm in there every day. How is it going for everyone? Are you all at the curve stage? Yeah. Excellent. I can see Karen working away on some curves already. That's good. Who is doing glue basting versus pinning? No, yeah, Karen's doing glue basting. Christina, what are you using?
I'm actually using the master curve foot.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little painful with the smaller curves, but with the larger curves, it's pretty darn good. You're just basically holding the two pieces of fabric and
Wow.
it glides in. It uses the principle that your feed dogs, you're covering your left feed dog. No, you're covering the right feed dog, and then with the foot, and the left feed dog moves the fabric in a circular motion, and
Oh,
it basically, well, it's either one foot or the other, but it actually literally curves the fabric. It works quite well, and the bigger the piece, the better it works.
yeah. Oh, that's it. What is it called again? The foot
The Curve Master.
curve master.
I bought it in 2015 when I was in Houston for the show, and I quickly put it away, and we had other issues going on, and I completely forgot about it. And I really should have used it for when I was doing La Fin du Monde, because there was even more curves in that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah,
curves in that one.
yeah. And I did the medium size, so trust me, there's a lot of curves, small
Oh,
curves. But I was digging around and I said, oh my God, I've got this foot and I've never used it. So I tried it out. There's a lot of YouTube videos, several YouTube that use it. And I think right now I've only seen it on Amazon. It's kind of pricey and it looks really cheap. It's a little piece of plastic basically,
yeah.
but it works. So
That's interesting. I wonder if it would fit on my machine.
well, I think it fits best on domestic machines. I
Yeah.
have a, a mega quilter where the feed dogs are wider apart,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work as comfortably there.
Okay. That's good to know. I
Yeah,
wonder if I'll be able to find it next week in Houston.
maybe. Yeah, take
Yeah.
a look. I'm not sure who the manufacturer is because I've lost that information.
Yeah.
But look for it, and if not, Amazon's there.
Yeah, that's true. Curve
Yeah.
Master foot. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see if I can track one down because that would be great to try out.
Yeah, I think it's in that $35 range, something like that.
It might be worth the money
Yeah.
given how
Well,
many curves.
you don't get sticky fingers,
Yeah.
and it takes a little. It's probably good to practice a little bit
Yeah.
on some curves, but you should be able to do it. And I found that I had to do one curve, regardless of the size I was doing. I would cut one group, one block, and then sort of decide how best to handle the fabric because you don't want to stretch it.
Yeah.
But depending on the curve template that you have, you may have to adjust the top of it down by a quarter inch to
Yeah.
get the same amount at the bottom.
Right.
So, whereas if you're pinning and basting, you can actually, force it in a little bit to make it the same. But it's good. It worked, and all my curves are done, and it's all good.
Wow. Nice. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Have you been putting curves? Does anyone put their curves together into the circle block? what I like
Oh,
to
yeah.
call the blueberry, even though these ones aren't blue. Maybe these ones are the purple berries.
Yeah.
Good. They go together pretty easily. And I don't know, you know what? Actually, I'll just spotlight myself
Not
because
yet.
even with trimming, hi Helen too. Hello in New Zealand. That's cool that you're here. Even with trimming these, all my curves were like exact or like just, and this happens to me always, just under, because I was using the acrylic templates that don't have any wiggle room. So I wasn't able to trim them all down. So some of my quarter curves were a little smaller than the other ones. So this is an example where I've already put these together in halves. Right, and I've got my seams going in the opposite direction, so they nest nicely on the front. But this one was a lot smaller than not a lot, it was a bit smaller than my other ones. So you can see where I'm doing my best to line it up down along the bottom and the sides. And then I'm just making my adjustments within the seam allowance. And you'll find this might happen throughout the process of putting your blocks together. Even when you're putting the larger blocks together, some might be a bit bigger, some might be a little smaller. And the best place for you to make adjustments is in that seam allowance. So this one is a little bit, it's like 1/8 of an inch smaller than the others along here. So, but it'll still catch in my seam allowance. So that's where I'm using my pins to keep everything in place and nicely squared off. All right. And so you'll be doing the same kind of, potentially doing the same kind of thing when you're putting your actual blocks together and your full rows together. You may have to make adjustments. And that's where I highly, highly recommend great pins and using all your pins to pin things into submission and make adjustments in your seam allowances.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just what happens, at least to me. So
I found that some of the joints are quite bulky, and I have I have a hammer and a block of wood. I have to hammer in some of those seams a little bit to flatten them out.
Yeah.
So good.
Yes, and is it on this one? Let me see if I can find one where I have. Yeah, so that's the thing. Some of the seams do end up being quite bulky. And I know we're not there yet, and I think I cover it in the recording, but maybe not. So attention, everybody. Okay, so there is some bulk here, right? All these seams are coming together and it's a bit bulky on either side. There isn't a whole lot you can do with that, but yeah, if you've got a little mallet and you want to flatten it out or use something like Flatter by Soak, which is a product that smooths your fabrics down, you can do that. You can see on the back of this one, and this is next week's session where we're putting these together. So don't worry about it too much because I do cover it in the video, but you can see where I've ironed the seam down, but on this one, it made more sense to flip it up because going down, it was just too bulky. So I flipped it partway through across the seam, and that you'll just have to do that in some cases.
Yeah.
And then also, let me find the spot here, and I will cover it off in the video. You can see it gets a little bit, as you're putting these two big blocks together. So this will be week 8, week 8. When you're putting these larger blocks together, you might find that you don't want to catch this extra seam when you're stitching along here. So I just folded this out of the way and pinned, right? So you pin there, fold it out of the way. You can see I've got stitching along there, and then I just flip it back. And you will find when you're putting your orange peels together, which again, we're not there yet, so I'm giving you some sneak peeks for those of you who are moving ahead. When you're putting orange peels together, there will be little bits of extra. If you're getting that, that's normal. Don't freak out about it. You can see it better here. See this orange a bit here and down here. If it's not going right to the orange peel, that's fine. That's what happens. As long as everything's fitting together, that's the goal, and it all looks fairly even. Okay. So those are just some little sneak peeks of future potential challenges in the next couple of weeks, but we're getting there, which is fantastic. Only a few weeks left, and we're finally getting things together, which is great. I've got like one one quadrant hanging up on the wall there. It's not all sewn together yet, but I put up a design. I don't usually use a design wall, and I thought, you know what, I'll put one up so I can see how it's looking. And so it feels like it's coming together. So does anyone have any other questions while we're all here? You doing okay with curves? Hi, Lynn. Good to see you.
Hey,
Courtney and Jennifer and Deborah.
I'm really enjoying putting these curves together, and I am a complete convert to glue.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm not-
That's good to hear.
yeah.
Yeah, and what was it? Oh, last weekend I taught Bloem for 2 days to the Whistler Quilt Guild, and there are a few members of the guild who are in the sew squad as well. And so we started using glue on the first day, and the second day people came back and they said they tried different types of glue, and we had different people giving reviews of different glue types, and someone was even using glue just for their half square triangles, which made
Yeah.
sense. I'm like, sure, why not? I didn't think of that, but why, you could absolutely use glue for just even doing your half square triangles. So a lot of people liked just the straight up Elmer's glue, which isn't cheap and cheerful and works. And then also one of these, the Sew Line pen. There's Sew Line and Fons and Porter both put these pens out, and they're more narrow. You can get refills, so you can buy just capsules of refills for the little glue sticks. They're more expensive, but it is nice to have that fine tip. But then someone also mentioned just before the meeting that you can get a tip to go on these Elmer glue sticks, or like a standard size glue stick. I'll show you a screenshot of it. The precision tip. So this is new. It's a new little handy little thing that you can, it snaps onto your glue stick. I have one, I haven't tried it yet, but it snaps on top, and then as you squeeze it out, it comes out smaller, and then your cap fits on top of it. Because on the weekend, I'm like, what happens when you're done? But the cap will snap on the top of it. I guess the only downside is there's a point where, you've got glue stuck in the nozzle and you can't use it. But if you're only spending like $1 or something on these anyway, it's an option. So you can get these on a couple different places. I think in some Etsy shops, but they also have them at paperpieces.com, and a few online shops have them now.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty. You can pick colors. They're 3D printed. I think it's like a new small business that's started to make these. So that's a neat option. Yeah. So I like glue. I don't know. But I also like pins for when I'm putting blocks together. I'm definitely, the more pinning, the better to keep everything in line. But yeah. So that's good. Lynn, I'm glad you're enjoying the process.
I actually am enjoying it. I'm sitting here with, a solid kind of thing on my lap, and I'm just going through, gluing a whole bunch of them here.
Yeah, I like the parts of quilting where you can batch things together, a task. You can just glue everything, and then the next step would be to go and sew everything, but to just be able to sit and glue and do one step at a time, but in bulk, and then change everything.
Yeah.
So that's good. Helen, how is it in New Zealand? Is it it's Thursday? Is it Thursday morning?
Yes, it is Thursday morning at 7:15. It's going to be a beautiful sunny day.
Wow.
Nice.
But it was a little bit foggy because I think it was quite warm in the night.
Well, that sounds lovely. I feel badly because when I scheduled the retreat on Saturday, I intentionally was like, when can Helen at least make it for an hour or, and what time zones will, and for some reason I thought, oh yeah, New Zealand's this time zone, it'll work for Australia too. And it does not. So unfortunately, our Australian friends probably won't be able to make this retreat. So I'll just keep scheduling. I'm thinking of doing these retreats like once every quarter.
Mhm.
So I'll try to do different times to capture different time zones. So
Yeah, I'm very grateful I'm able to catch the end of it. So that's
yeah, I am too. I'm glad you'll be there. So who else will be at the retreat this weekend?
I will.
Oh, great. Good. Amazing.
I planned to be, but my family ended up having to postpone Thanksgiving. So
Oh,
I got to go eat turkey instead.
that's a good reason to miss out, I think. But yeah, no pressure if you're like, if you just want to pop in for an hour or whatever, like I'll be here. I booked it because I thought I need to do some sewing. And then I realized, oh, at retreats, people do activities. So now I've got some activities scheduled. And yeah, and I've got a whole show and share list. So if you want to show anything, you can just do it on the fly, or you can add your name to the list. The link to that Google Doc is in the event. And so you can go and you can pick a time in the morning or the afternoon. I'm going to do some giveaways. Also, I'm going to do a giveaway at the end of the day. So whether or not you are in attendance, everyone in the squad is eligible for a fabric giveaway. I just have to figure out which fabrics, all the fabrics, right? So probably phosphor.
yes, a new phosphor, please.
Yeah, the new phosphor. I've seen a couple posts now saying that it's shipping to stores, that stores have received their shipping notices. So hopefully that's the case everywhere. We'll see. Yeah. All right, great. Does anyone want to share any progress? Show any blocks? They're like, no.
No.
It's Wednesday.
No.
Okay, we'll do some more sharing on Saturday.
I feel like I
Like-
made a mistake choosing Bloom too, because the
So
first two,
many curves.
I know the first 2 weeks were, oh, this is so easy. And then you get to the third one and you go, whoa, that's a lot of half circles, and quarter circles.
Oh
But-
boy. Yeah, it's
That's a
true.
gorgeous version.
As I was drafting up the weeks and like doing the recordings, I look at the layout and I'm like, uh-oh, the Bloom 2 folks are not going to be too chuffed about where things are at by week 6, but that's okay. Just pace yourself. You'll be good.
Doing Bloom 2 as well.
Oh, are
And
you?
I think by the end of this, we'll all be pretty good at doing curves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a couple of glue sticks of various kinds.
Yeah. You'll all have a glue stick collection. And yeah, already I've decided that whatever we do next, like in the spring, whatever it is, I don't know if it'll be a sew along or a course, whatever it is, I promise not to have so many curves. I think we'll just ease off on those for a little bit, take a year break, and then maybe next year we'll do La Fin du Monde, because I know a few people have asked to do that quilt, and it uses all these same templates, which is fantastic, but also you
Has
probably
more curves. It
Exactly.
has- yeah.
there's some curve exhaustion. So maybe next fall we'll do La Fin du Monde, and in the meantime we'll do something maybe just straight lines, checkerboard, something simple. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah. All right. Great. Does anyone have anything else?
No.
We're good.
You're good.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for checking in with me. I hope to see you Saturday. If not, also quick reminder that on November, oh my God, I'm skipping ahead. November 3rd, we have a lecture with Audrey Essery. And then November 29th, I believe, is a weaving workshop with Jen Duffin. There is a little supply list in that event. So we have 2 events in November. And then December, we have Karen Lewis doing needle turn applique, and I'm very excited about that. So all those will be are scheduled. And then also we still have recordings available for Jenny's session on breaking out of creative ruts, or the daily creative, and then Tara Fonen's color workshop that we had last week. That recording is up. Those are all in the guest events section. So on your left-hand navigation, you go in there, you should be able to find, I'd post it in the feed. Okay. If you're having issues finding anything, don't hesitate to let me know. All right. Because it is a lot in there
Okay.
and a lot to navigate. All right. Have a wonderful Wednesday, everybody. It was good to see
You
all
too.
your faces. And
Thank
we'll
you.
chat soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
folks.
Bye.
Bye.